Hi, good morning, everybody. Hi, Janet. How are you? You guys can't hear me. No, that's bizarre. Let's.
We can,
Christian just can't
Tim.
hear me. Let's try that. How about that? There.
Tim, we hear you.
That's better. Can you hear me better now, Christian? Christian's not able. I think there might be something on your side, Christian. Okay. All right. Hi. Happy New Year, everybody. So, why are we here? Uta's like, I don't know. She's like, I don't know. I just signed it. We're starting this exciting program this year that kind of came out of, it's kind of been the brainchild of a lot of different projects. And it started, I don't know, several years ago, maybe 2 years ago, when we launched our learning platform. And I was like, yeah, this thing's nice, right? And like, it's nice. Someone asked me last night how to translate "it is nice." And I'm like, what do you mean it is nice? And the question was, is my understanding good about emptiness? And the response was, it's nice. It doesn't mean it's correct, but it doesn't mean it's wrong, right? It's nice, right? That's nice. And that's what I mean by, for translators, that's what I mean by the platform's nice, right? Actually, it's more than nice. It gives us the capacity to teach in many languages, save all the classes. You can get your ACI courses done, which you should be doing. Right, Janine? I can see you. Don't forget, I look at you guys. And if you would like to turn on your camera, it would be really nice to see faces. Thank you. But I always had this vision of it to be much larger than just, oh, here's a place to take courses. Here's a place to, consolidate your learning, get your certificates, which is all important, and it's excellent. But we always saw this platform as a way to bring communities of practitioners together, right? So that we can practice together, not just, let's do our courses together, but how else do we practice together? How else do we come together? And there's been a vision from the beginning on it. And so now this is kind of the launch of it. And I'll tell you about that in a second. Okay. And then we had this thing, ever since I started studying ACI, there's always been this thing that's been bothering me. What's that? Hi, Tin, how are you? It's good to see you. What's been bothering me is that I've heard many, many times, if you really have renunciation, right? If you really have this desire to get out of the cycle, get out of the crap, stop the problems, right? I don't know about you guys, but the holidays for me are all about problems. Yeah, they're about family, Marianne, right? They're about family and connection and love and maybe giving some gifts, right? And all those things They're nice. Get it? But there's this weird thing that happens, right? That's, at least for me, it happens. Even in relationships, right? Like all we want is love, the song, all we want is love. All we want is connection. All we want is happiness. But yet something happens where problems show up. I don't know about you, but I like the older I get, the worse holidays become for me, because the gap between the person I was at 18 and the person I am now keeps getting bigger. I keep getting older. Yet every single time I go back to see my family, I'm like reverted back to this 18-year-old, right? And all the set patterns of communication and problem solving or not problem solving or avoiding the problem, they all kind of pop back out, right? So I can see the smiles on some of your faces that you know exactly what I'm talking about. Right? And you're like, and Desmond's like, oh, yes. But this problem that I've had in ACI, not a problem in of ACI, but is that there's this thing, right, called seeing Shintian, hello, this thing called seeing emptiness directly, right? And we're told over and over again that the only way to see emptiness directly is through meditation. And not just any kind of meditation, special meditations. And being able to meditate, to be able to have a platform, a quality of mind, a quality of concentration that you can sustain for about an hour. And I'm like, oh, okay, I can do that, right? But there's some, like, to be able to meditate for an hour, if you've never meditated, or even if you meditated for a big portion of your life, I mean, it's hard. It's a hard thing to do. It's not easy. Just to get to the platform in your mind, to get to the ability. We're not talking about seeds yet. Okay. Just to get to that platform is a tremendous amount of work, and it's difficult. Okay. And so you hear it over and over again, like, if you had the renunciation to do it, right, you would be like, yeah, I will prioritize this. Has anyone ever seen my calendar? I should show you my calendar. I'll show you my calendar from the busiest it was last year. Let's see here. Not going to waste my time. Basically, what you're going to see is there's no free time in it. Okay. So how does one expect to see emptiness directly if you don't spend the time to do it? Right. And then we were like, and then we get into all these, guilt trips and these habits, like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, or, oh, my life is so busy, I'll stop being busy tomorrow. Yeah, right. Every time I try to stop being busy, and then the irony is my teacher gives me a new project. Here you go, Tim, do more. I'm like, what? Right, Tracy, get busier. Like, what? How am I supposed to do that? So part of what we want to do is provide a platform that makes it possible to get there. And I'm using platform in different meanings. Okay. Right. I'm meaning like, let's provide the structure. Let's provide the opportunity. And let's do it. Let's do it together, right? Why? Can anyone tell me why it's important that we try to do it together? $50. Oh, damn it. I'm gonna put it in there before I even said $50. Haha, too late. Right, it's seeds, right? If you ever took ACI 3 or you took DCI level 3, you go through this whole course, you learn all these cool things, how to meditate, how to set up your room, how to get everything ready, how to set aside an hour a day to meditate, right? All of those things, right? And then we get to the end of the course and we say, nothing works. You just wasted your entire life in this class, right? And everyone just like their mouth drops. And then they're like, what do you mean it doesn't work? I'm like, yeah, you just wasted your time. Right? Unless you understand the karma side of it, because you can't force any experience to ever happen to you. Have you ever tried to force somebody to date you? Let's seduce them. Right. Like that works. Oh, Tim, but it worked for me. Oh, yeah, but it didn't work for me. So seducing isn't the cause to get a good date, right? It's not the cause of a partnership. Just like meditating for an hour. I'm sorry, I'm just going to be depressing right now and tell you, even though we're going to create a program so you can meditate for an hour, meditating for an hour doesn't create the seeds. Let me say that again. The seeds that see emptiness directly do not come from meditating for an hour. How about that? What you do in that hour, okay. I saw Uta kind of like wink a little bit. What you do in that hour can be planting powerful seeds. Okay. What you do while you're meditating can plant powerful seeds. But just the time itself, sitting there on your cushion, isn't going to cut it, right? It's not the time. But Tim, you need the time to be able to have deep realizations. Yeah, that's true. It's not contradictory. This is also one of the reasons why we do deep retreat, right? One of the reasons that we go deep into, some people go into deep retreat and can't go into retreat, right? Seeds are weird. Seeds are really weird. And then you got to fight them. You got to plant different ones, right? So what we're going to do, and that's the big goal. That's the high goal. That's what we're trying to get to. Okay. What would it be like? Imagine a world, right? And imagine what would it be like if we had a whole bunch of Aryas walking on this planet, if they're not already, okay? What would it be like if a bunch of us could touch the diamond world? What if a bunch of us could get close to touching the diamond world? Like, what would our practice be like? What would we be able to accomplish together? Okay. That's why we're here. That's why we're here. That's why we're doing this. Right? Because the power of many, someone's going to debate me. I know they are. but the power of many together, outweighs the power of one. Okay. And if you really think about, I've been having these weird experiences. I was hanging out with some friends when I got back to Phoenix or Arizona after, being away for almost a month. And we're sitting there, two really good friends, having breakfast. And all of a sudden, they're talking about subtle K-rim practices in Vajrayana. Okay. I'm sitting there just having a coffee in a place called Snooze, like sleeping. Right? Bunch of people around us, bunch of normal people, right? Normal people around us, right? And they're talking about subtle Vajrayana practices. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? You guys don't know that. And I was like, oh, okay, this is what happens. This is what happens, right? You start seeing people around you who are doing good things. Your seeds open up to see people around you who are doing amazing things, right? So this is what we're doing together. If we can change the seeds that we all have and start seeing, can someone think of a synonym for an army? I don't like the word army because it's upsetting to me, but like an army of Aryas. I don't know. Yeah, it's too combative. I mean, it is a combat. It's a combat against your negative emotions and your self-cherishing and all of that. A fleet. Ooh, it's not a fleet. Ooh, like a star fleet. I like that. Just travel the stars together. Ooh, that's nice. Savan. Maybe a fleet of Aryas. That's a good one. A group, a dedicated group of people working together, right? That would be really cool. I mean, not just a little cool. It wouldn't be just nice. Warrior of angels. I like that. Spiritual gangsters. You guys come up with it. Whatever word works for you in your mind. And I think we're ready. That's what I think. I think we're ready. Right. So this entire year, like, okay, there's holy cripes, there's 243 people here. Okay. You guys are gonna love what I'm gonna do to you today. All right. Because I think we're ready. I think we're ready to do this together. I think as a organization, I think we've grown so much in the last 3 years. And I think the world needs it. I really think the world needs it. I got a beautiful message yesterday from someone who lives in Ukraine. And she has found refuge in the teachings of ACI. Just hearing the wisdom has helped when the bombs have been dropping. I cried. I cried. I was like, that's what we're trying to do, right? Today, we can't stop the bombs. I'm sorry. Like the seeds have come out. They've opened. I'm sorry. But this is a long-term project, right? The seeds may not change in a day, although in a single instant, anything can change, of course. But I feel like the world needs it. I think the world needs kindness and needs people who truly understand that and who are dedicated to understanding, who have an understanding of how to really have an impact in the world. And that fleet of arias, right? And that's what we're going to become. So how are we going to do this? Okay. How are we going to do this? Just organizing my thoughts, guys. Hold on. Someone do a drum roll, Tracy. Let me just get my notes up here. Okay. So we're going to start in a slightly surprising way. And what I mean by that is we're actually not going to start by meditating tomorrow. Well, I hope you meditate tomorrow. I hope you have a practice. Please do it. Okay. But we're not going to start yet with directly tracking our meditations. We're not going to start yet with like, let's just sit down and meditate. We're going to start a little differently. Why? All right, Anna, for another $50, Anna. Anybody? Yes. Ali gets the $50. Okay. Becky, nice. Actually, Becky is the one who got it. It's the preliminaries. The seeds are included in the preliminaries. Okay. January, we're calling January the preliminaries. Okay. And it's not what you think either. So what we're going to do, so let me give you the structure of everything so you can get like everything. Nikita, you weren't supposed to tell people that. I had a whole strategy to make it sound like this was planned. It actually kind of was planned, but it's, you know, you have to make adjustments. So the way we're going to do this is starting in January, we're going to be doing some preliminary practices, one per week. And what we're going to do today is I'm going to give you each of them so you can prepare yourself. And then starting in February, we're going to be having the full launch of the program. Oh, Tim, today's not the launch? Yes, today's the launch. But you are going to have a responsibility in this, because I was thinking about this even, you know, as we were kind of putting together this program. I was trying to think, how do we get more people? How do we recruit more people? And that's going to be your problem. So we'll get to that at the end, which is also a seed planting exercise. And yes, all of this is being recorded. Everything will be on the platform in your language. So don't worry about that. So what we're going to do starting in February, you know, we're going to be offering each month, we're going to be offering a different class on meditation. And we're going to build the program. So over the year, we're going to go deeper and deeper into meditation techniques, into being able to answer your questions, like what happens during the meditations, and guiding you through the process so that you can get to that platform of an hour, right? It doesn't happen overnight, and it's going to go up and down, right? It's not going to be consistent. You know, someone asked me a question the other day about, you know, my practice isn't consistent. Sometimes I meditate more. Sometimes I'm focusing on seeds more. Sometimes I'm I'm doing more yoga, like, I don't understand. And I said, that's called practice. That's just called practice, and then sometimes you have the greatest laid plans to do a deep retreat or something, and then it doesn't work for you. And, that's called practice, right? So we're going to guide you through the year. And then we're going to have activities throughout the year, right? We're going to be giving you things to do that are not just, meditation, things to support the meditation, right? But so we're going to start February 1, and then we're actually going to go until the end of January 2024. Okay, sorry, it's a 13-month challenge, but that's how it's going to happen. And we're going to start with 8 minutes. Okay, we're going to start with 8 minutes of meditation. And then each week, you're going to get an email that says, yay, congratulations, you graduated. Now you can do 9 minutes, right? And then after the next week, you get another email that says, congratulations. Now you have the honor and privilege of meditating for 10 minutes. Okay, right? And so each week we're going to add simply 1 minute. And each month we're also going to get a different meditation. You're going to get a different, something to go deeper. So that by the end of the year, you'll have all the tools, right? And maybe some people may pop over. And if you have the right seeds, some, it's a spontaneous thing. It's not like, can't force the seeds to ripen, right? But maybe someday you'll just sit down and you're doing your analytical meditations, and your analytical meditations flip over into single pointed meditation automatically on their own, right? And then maybe something like dependent origination will happen to you. Okay. Or you'll have little micro realizations, little tiny things that give you a confirmation that you're on the right path. Okay. So, and then in the platform, you're going to be tracking. You're going to be tracking your meditations. There's going to be a timer. And that timer will then put all of your meditations into a database. And then we'll be able to see how many minutes people are meditating. So the idea is not only we want to get you to that platform, but we want to motivate you. We want to motivate you to reach 10 million minutes of meditation. Not you personally, together, okay? Right? That's our goal for the year, 10 million minutes. But I don't care if we make 10 million minutes. All that I care about is that people have deep realizations, okay? So you're going to get a lot of emails that sound like I care about the 10 million minutes. Okay, that's between us. I don't care. I mean, I'm joking. I do care. But that's not the point. The point is not 10 million minutes. The point is realizations. Okay. So what we're going to do is now we're going to go through the 4 practices for this month. You're going to have 1 practice per week. All right. So what we're going to do, tech team, is we're going to stop the recording here, and then we're going to restart the recording so that each of the 4 practices will be separate videos that you can watch.